And once again, welcome back to the Adequan West Coast Dressage Festival here in San Diego, California. And we'll resume competition here momentarily with the FEI Intermediare 2 Open qualifying class. And making their way into the arena now, representing Canada, this is Sarah Pocock and Connoisseur. Connoisseur is a 12-year-old Hanoverian dark bay stallion by Connemore out of Donna Clara, owned and presented by Sarah Pocock from Langley, British Columbia, Canada.
Back for round 2 or 3 or 4. Connoisseur, however you pronounce it, it's not Connoisseur. Sarah Pocock. Okay, let's see how this works. Nice entry. Again, so far that's fairly even. Everything is pretty even. It's not so difficult yet. There, nice trot. Very impressive horse. Nice lift. Looks like a nice pair. So now the 3 half passes, 5 meters, 10 meters, and 5 meters. Oops. And that's very often the problem here. We're not quite safe with it because it really feels to the horse like a Kennedy Part 8. Normally it happens at the corner of K, but here in this particular case, the half pass starts over here to the left. So it can happen. Now establishing between R and B the passage. Left, establish, 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 and by the time you make that turn, you better be in the passage. Face V, and as soon as you come to the center line, Piaf. A little hesitant, then trotted out, so the transition wasn't so hot. Now the passage starts again. And again, this is a long passage. You talked about that earlier already. And here again, that Piaf at the open side of the arena. Oops. Again, lost a little concentration there. Passage, 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 passage. Now, come on, lift. You have to be able to show not only a passage, but also a nice transition from the passage to an extended walk. Now you go wonderfully in your extension. Collected walk now. Horse does have a nice walk. Also has a nice presence. It looks like some engagement and power. So more of a marching gait, so that's nice. Kennedy Part at C. And now a medium canter. This is a diagonal. There, yes. And transition and change. Down transition was a little bit early. And now we get to the short half pass. Short and steep half pass. To X, then straighten. And 12 meters later, you start riding your pirouette. Very nice pirouette. Wow. I'm impressed. Okay, now the extended canter to let him move a little bit again. Okay, and change. And just merrily canter around to V, and then again the short half pass in preparation for the pirouette to the right. Canter, canter, and pop off V over to X. And sit. Okay, certainly something the horse shows really nice talent for. Maybe that's why they're here. Now the change is every second stride. 1, 2, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 2, 7, 2. She could have started those a tiny bit earlier. Maybe she tried and he wasn't listening. I couldn't tell. Now 11 ones. And, oops, yeah. One start again. Unfortunately, there were still too many mistakes. That really didn't work out. That's going to be quite a low score. See the collected trot. Extension to the diagonal. Again, some think the horse really does well, but maybe not quite fully prepared yet for the I2. But that's what you're testing. That's what these I2s in the early shows are all about. So let's test the water, see what's happening in the competition arena. At home, normally everything works much better. Oops, there the horse starts walking again. You should be listening to the rider's legs and get used to the whole idea that the passage goes all the way down to I and halt. Nice halt, okay. So that part was good.
Representing Canada, Sarah Pocock
so
and
again,
Connoisseur.
Some high scores and some low scores. But that's what it's all about. Take advantage of the fact that you can ride. And ride this big boy. And give him experience. And teach him a little respect. The stallions sometimes like to run the show. So see, it's a nice big boy. Yes. No, she did a good job. Let's see where the scores are. I see the score from C already up at 65. Let's see if we can come up a little higher on the side.
And as we await the scores of Sarah Pocock, into the arena comes number 35, Alex Curry and Zeta. Zeta, an 15-year-old Dutch 17-hand chestnut gelding by Rousseau out of Osterlinda, owned and ridden by Alex Curry from Pescadero, California. And marks now for Sarah Pocock and Connoisseur at H, 63.529, at C, 65.147, at B, 64.118. Final marks for Sarah Pocock and Connoisseur from Canada, 64.265%.
Well, it's still so far the second best score with Nick Wagman with Ferrano. Still comfortably in front. Now Alex Curry is coming. She had a nice steady test yesterday. It was right at 64. So again, let's see if she can improve a little bit on her 64 from yesterday. Okay, she was a little bit quick with that salute. She should have made sure that the horse was a little bit more immobile. Might have cost her a point. And again, point here, point there, adds up. Okay, that was a little bit conservative, but okay, 5 meters, now 10 meters across. Quarter line to quarter line. Nice, and now come back to the center line. That's it. Keep the horse parallel. It could have been a little more bend and flexion. And now developing the passage. Pup, 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 and now make that turn, and now you have to be in the passage. Lift, 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 lift. Oops, got a little stuck there. Okay, and that's not quite trot-like and not quite on the spot, so the passage is a little better than the piaffe. And now that piaffe passage goes endless. Because it goes around the corners, that's why it's more difficult too. This is a pretty tough passage tour. Okay, the piaffe's not quite there. That's a little bit more pre-I2 piaffe. Was a fair amount of advance. Needs to be more lift. And now pop and drop into the extended walk. Okay, even though it's rhythmically a correct walk, unfortunately, there is no overstrain. And even though it's rhythmically correct, but the requirement is that there's some overstride, that the score will be a little lower. And this is supposed to be the collected walk, and there's some resistance in the beginning before the canter part. At least some. Yeah, very impressive. That's a big horse. There's a lot of mass moving about here. Okay, now the changes. No, the half pass I'm just looking at the horse. I'm not even looking at the half pass here. Now straight. But use that engagement from the half pass and sit down and ride a pirouette to the left. Okay, got a little bit labored, lost a little bit of balance, activity. Takes a lot of power to move a big horse like this around. Again, a little bit conservative here on the canter. But again, now collect, and get him over. There you go. That's kind of just make sure you get close to X, because the judge at B can really see that well. And now collect, and then rotate. Collect, canter, oops, canter. Okay, that's got a little bit wide, fell out a little bit, but she did get the 360 without having a true break in the canter, so that's good. And now the ones. Oh, the twos, I mean. 1, 2. Okay. So should have gone to K. She was done much closer to V. Sometimes accuracy is not the really strong point of some of the riders here. And again, this started was a no change type, and then not enough. Those should have been 11 changes. So not quite there yet. Here the horse gets a little bit strong in the bridle in that transition. That's so you can keep them together. It takes quite a bit of riding to take a big horse like this and keep it together. For a young lady that's not a giant herself. Good. Per usual, I think this maybe is the clearest passage he had. And stand still, stand still, stand still. Take your time, stand still. You can do only so much. So the horse likes to.
Alex Curry
but at
and
least she
Zita
tried.
just completing their Intermediare 2 test.
She tried.
And marks to come for them in just a moment. Come now to the final entry in our FEI Intermediare 2 Open Division, and that will bring Thomas Walker and Finesse.
So I'm learning while we're going along. We must have a scratch. Hmm.
And then don't forget we bounce back to FEI test of choice. We bounce back to FEI test of choice after this.
Well, this is a national class, so people bounce around a little bit. So let's see what Alex did here.
Around the arena now is number 29. This is Thomas Walker and Finesse, an 11-year-old Oldenburg Bay mare owned by Lisa Bradley, competed today by Thomas Walker from Rancho Santa Margarita, California. Finesse is by Festrausch out of Brianna. Marks coming now for Alex Curry and Zeta.
And let's wait for Alex's score. Whoops, I see 261s already. So definitely a little bit less than what she did yesterday. But then she had some mistakes there in the changes and some other things.
At H, 61.029. At C, 61.618. At B, 61.912. Final score for Alex Curry and Zeta, 61.520%.
Okay.
On the center line now, Thomas Walker and Finesse.
So for Zeta, that was a little bit going backwards. She had a 64 yesterday. And now here's Thomas Walker, who's Finesse, who again also had only about a 63. So he had some problems yesterday. So let's see if he can correct that, because he's a very strong rider. So let's see if he can start steering this horse a little bit more safely. So the hazards of an I2. Okay, so far so good. There's a very acceptable half passes so far. Okay, now let's see what it looks like in the passage department. I wish you'd have started a little earlier. It's very difficult to judge when the riders wait until the absolute last moment, because that's a separate score, the developing of the passage. Okay, now he kept the hind legs active, but the front end should move more in concert with the hind leg in the same diagonal pair movement. Easy, he kind of rode out of that passage a little bit. More trot move, more trot-like. It was nearly walked. So you see the horse is still trying to learn how to keep balance and keep those hind legs moving. There, a couple of nice diagonal steps. And now extended walk. That's one of the reasons why the score is a little bit lower. The walk rhythm is not quite wonderful. So the rhythm wasn't there, and she didn't have much overstride. Here's also a little bit iffy. I'm sure he's glad he's out of that walk period, because I'm sure he knows that is a problem. Yeah, nice jump. Good job. Yes, pushed the horse nicely on, and then a very nice transition. Let's look for the little things that are really good. Okay, now steep half pass. Nice. Okay. Yes. The horse kept on cantering. Yes, it's still a little bit forehand dependent, but overall he did a nice job guiding the horse around. So, nice riding. Okay, that was a little bit careful, but probably by design. He doesn't want to throw the horse away. And steep half pass. Straight. Keep the collection. Keep the collection ashes, and then okay, and he very cleverly gave the horse a little extra room so the horse could maintain the canter and maintain the balance. So he gave a little bit up on size, but he really maintained the canter and rode an otherwise acceptable pirouette. There. Now the ones that are always a little tricky. 1, 2, 3. Oops. Okay, little iffy at the beginning and ending. But that's why you're here. If everything would be perfect, you would all be in the Grand Prix. Okay. There. That was a nice passage.
Thomas
and a very
Walker
nice
and
halt.
Finesse just completing their Intermediare 2. And one final ride to come in this class. This will be an Hors Concours class ride for Don White O'Connor and Kingston. Number 130 will complete this class.
Okay, let's see how Thomas fared with Finesse today. As I said yesterday, 64 and 63. I see already 2 64s here on the board.
Scores now for
And
Thomas Walker and
66, its average
Finesse
is
at
probably
H,
out.
64.265%, at C, 64.559%, and at B, 66.324%, giving them 65.049%.
Well, if this was the last of the competitive rides, then Nick Wagman won the class. And actually Thomas' ride was Finesse, looks like a second.
And as we await the final entry in the class,
And Sarah Pocock third.
for the FEI Intermediare 2 class today. In the open division, in fourth place, Susan Igani and Liaison, 60.098%. In third place for the FEI Intermediare 2 from Canada, Sarah Pocock and Connoisseur, 64.265%. In second place, Thomas Walker and Finesse, 65.049%. And to take the win for the FEI Intermediare 2, Nick Wagman and Ferrano, 68.971%. And into the arena now, number 130. This is Don White O'Connor and Kingston. And this combination in the FEI Intermediare 2, once again, this is an hors concours ride.
And that is probably why we're going to go HC. Looks like the horse is not so eager to come in here. And Dawn always gets the difficult horses, and she can handle it. Especially over on the M side of the arena. I know one of my Canadian friends had a problem there because yesterday a pony